Hello everybody, my name is Suman Dua. I'm a registered migration agent based in Brisbane, Australia. In this video today, I want to talk about the business visa options that are available for applicants who have a successful business or investment career. Also, Australia is a very attractive option for many migrants who want to come to Australia and settle in Australia. In the recent federal budget, department has announced an increased number of places for business innovation and investment program. So last year the number was around 6,000 places, and this year the number has increased to 13,500 places. There are about 7 types of business visas that are available for successful business applicants. In this video today, I will be talking about 188 provisional business visa. It does have 5 streams, but the stream that I will be focusing on today will be the business innovation stream. I've also created a fact sheet for the 188 visa requirements, so you will be able to download the fact sheet at the end of the video. So 188 visa is a business innovation and investment visa. It is a provisional visa which is granted for 4 years and 3 months. So it is not a permanent visa, but it does have a pathway to permanent visa. This visa is also sometimes referred as 188A, and it has a 2-stage process. The first one is the provisional visa 188, which is granted for 4 years and 3 months, and the second stage is the 888 visa. If you meet the requirements of the permanent visa, then you move on to the 888A visa. There is also one extension available for this visa. The extension is available for 2 years and is available if you're not able to meet the requirements for the permanent visa, then you can be granted an extension for 2 years. So one of the main requirements for 188A visa is that you need to have a history of the business ownership and management, and you should be able to come to Australia and operate a new or existing business in Australia. It is a state and territory nominated visa, so what it means is that you will have to lodge the expression of interest in the skill select system, and you need to be invited by the state for this visa. So sometimes states, they do have their own requirements. So on top of the Department of Home Affairs requirements, sometimes you also have to meet the additional requirements that are set by the state. So as long as you meet the state's requirement, the state invites you to lodge the 188 visa. So 188 is a points tested visa, so you need to have a minimum point score of 65 points. I will also be making another video where I have explained to you about the point system for the business visa, and the video also explains how you can claim the points in the right way. So I will put the link in the description. So the applicant needs to be under 55 years of age. However, in some cases, the applicant can be over 55 years of age, but in that case, you need to have a waiver which is granted from the state or territory. Usually, the states will provide that waiver if you're providing some exceptional economic benefit to that state. You need to have a history of ownership and management of a main business for 2 years out of the last 4 fiscal years. So let me explain you what a fiscal year is. So fiscal year is a financial year. So for example, in Australia, financial year is from June to July, and in some countries it's the calendar year, which is from January to December, and in some countries it's from March to April. So as long as you've got the history of ownership and management in the main business for the 2 years out of the last 4 fiscal years, you will meet the requirement for this visa. To prove the ownership interest in the main business, you will have to prove that you were involved in the management of the business and have the ownership interest of the total value of at least 51% if the turnover is less than Australian $400,000, 30% if the turnover is over Australian 400,000, 10% if the business is a publicly listed company. You will also have to provide evidence that you had the annual turnover in the 2 years out of the 4 fiscal years. So turnover means the total sales, the total revenue that you have been generating, and sometimes it also includes maybe the rental income that your business is generating. You also have to provide evidence of 50% of management rule, especially if your business is a service-based business. So what it means is, for example, in my business, I'm the registered migration agent. Most of the clients who come to our business, they come to see me, and I'm providing services to my client. So most of the time I'm actually providing services to my clients rather than managing the business. So if you're in a similar kind of business, maybe you have got a medical center where you are the doctor and most of the patients come and see you and you are providing the services, then you won't meet the eligibility for this visa. So you have to provide evidence that 50% of the time you were doing the management duties. You also must have an overall successful business career. So what it means is that, say for example, one of the years in the last 4 years your business was not making any money, it went into loss, but overall you had a successful business career, and the reason that your company went into some losses due to the reasons which were beyond your control. So maybe, for example, during the COVID situation your business went into loss and the reason is beyond your control. So in that case as well you will still meet the requirement of the overall successful business career. One of the other requirements is that you need to have the total net assets, which include your personal assets and your business assets, to be equivalent of Australian $800,000. So it can be a combination of your assets and your partner or spouse's assets, or it could just be yours or your partner or spouse's assets. It is also a mandatory requirement that the assets are lawfully acquired and you can provide the source of those assets. You should also be able to demonstrate that you need to be in Australia to establish or participate in a business activity. You also need to have a realistic commitment to establish or participate in a qualifying business in Australia. So a qualifying business is when you are actually providing services or goods to the public. Say for example, you come to Australia and set up company A and you're only providing services to company B, then in that case you won't meet the requirements of this visa. You have to actually provide goods or services or a combination to the public. Also, you cannot come here to establish a passive investment, so you need to be involved in the overall management of the business. You will also be required to maintain a substantial ownership interest in a qualifying business. You could be a shareholder in a company, or you could be a partner in a partnership, or you could be the sole proprietor of the business. Now, it's actually very normal for business applicants to come to Australia and do a business which is not related to the business that they were doing overseas. So if you're somebody who is here on a 188 visa and looking for business opportunities, we can actually connect you to the right people where you can have substantial ownership interest in the businesses which are making profits, so that you can easily meet the requirements of the permanent visa 888. You will also be required to make direct involvement in the management of the business, and you will also be required to make decisions around the performance and the direction of the qualifying business in Australia. So these were some of the basic requirements that you need to meet to be able to get an invitation for a 188 visa. If you do have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with us. I'm also putting a link to book a consultation with me. To stay updated about Australia's immigration, make sure that you subscribe to our channel.